Prepare to make the jump to light speed.
But sir! They're getting closer.
Oh, yeah? Watch this.
Watch what?
That was
Man,
how's it going, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, Gabe. Got actually some goosebumps, and I never forget when Scott did that awesome intro. And
Yeah,
dude, great to see you, Gabe. How you doing, brother?
seeing you too, man. Good, good, good.
Yeah.
It's been a little while, right?
Oh my gosh, a couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah, just a couple. We missed last week, right? And now we're back on. So
Yes, and to everybody in our Star Wars community that has been there from when we first started this years ago, welcome back. And to all our new followers that are on tonight, thank you and welcome to the Star Wars community with Gabe and Michael.
yeah, absolutely. And right off the bat, I mean, I'm like looking at the comments, like
Yeah,
just all throughout there, and it's like all our buddies are here, and this is the best part of this whole thing we did for so many years, right?
yeah.
See that.
There's so many different Star Wars podcasts out there now, and there's all the friendships and everybody is it's exploded.
And I just love seeing like all the comments, and I mean, I think we should stick to the tradition and kind of just go through and say hi to all our friends that are in the chat.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right off the bat, Marcel. What's up, Marcel?
Yes.
Actually, what changed my life as a supportive independent artist. I see. Yeah, I mean that was definitely one of those. He was one of the first artists that we were kind of like helping and endorsing and trying to really get the word out. Yeah, no, absolutely, Marcel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the comment.
Yeah, Axe Condo Sigma. What's up, man?
Buddy.
Darth Strange. Not able to watch live. It's all right. You can watch the replay.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys are back. Hopefully to stay.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Justin says, so glad for the return. Tell Mike it's a great restaurant that I missed the show. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Got Evan in the house. What's up, Evan?
Hey, brother. How are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sergeant Dan's. I hope I'm still awake at that. I know, right? Like sometimes the East Coast, on West Coast, it's 7:00. So I'm like, right now, we just finished dinner and
we get people sometimes that were in Russia watching our show.
Yeah. In Europe, yep, absolutely. Yeah. Matt, what's up, Matt? How you doing?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
What's up, Matt? Six skill.
Yeah. No, Matt and Joseph, man.
Yeah.
Gonna join for the first half an hour. Always
sounds good.
And I want to say something to Matt too, like because as you guys might know, we have a Facebook group, right? And it has almost like about 1,000 people on it. And honestly, like, been really bad about like posting stuff on there and really keeping up. But there's been two people that I want to give a huge shout out because they have been kind of just consistently posting stuff and and that's Matt and Armando. Both of them like just kept on posting on the group and all that. Yeah. Again, we got to get better at doing that, right? It's just juggling all the stuff, but yeah, we'll try. SW77 Cars. Nice to see you guys. See, and some of you guys like we got to remember like the names, right? Because obviously we see the handle,
Yes.
Connected to the name. So
Yes.
welcome back. Thank you, Benjamin. How you doing, Benjamin? How's it going?
Good to see you, Benjamin.
Yeah. Oh, Stephanie. What's up, Stephanie? Oh, she's in Alaska.
Hey, Steph.
Here to be the hype girl.
Are you in town, Steph? Are you in town? Yes or no?
She's in Alaska.
Oh, she said she's in Alaska. That's all I need to know. Okay. Well, good. I don't feel bad.
Adam's in the house here.
Nice.
Dark Busy Wizard. Nice.
Good to see you, buddy.
Scotty's in here. What's up, Scott? How you doing?
Hey,
man?
Scott. I'm glad you're doing okay right now, brother.
Yeah. Hope
Yes.
everything's is well with you and
Yes.
getting back to somewhat normalcy, right?
Yeah. I know you and Janine have been through hell and back. God bless you.
Janine. Hey,
Yeah.
Janine, how are you?
Miss you. I miss you, Janine.
Yeah, let's see who else we got in here. So the collector. Also gonna have you guys back. Sean is in the house. What's up, Sean?
Yeah. I don't know if it's me. You're kind of cutting out. I don't know if it's
Cutting out.
okay. There you are. Better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else we got in here? Let's see that I haven't
That's the guy.
highlighted. Adam.
But I thought date night was with us, dude. What's up?
I know. We got Flex in the house. We got Armando. There you go, Armando. Like I said, giving you a big shout out. Like I said, when I checked in that group that we have on Facebook, you were consistently still posting. Appreciate you, man. Keeping the faith alive this whole time. That Collection Wars would one day be back.
Yes.
Solo Bones, how you doing, man?
That's the Solo Bones right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that was one of the best.
Love that. It's one of my favorite pieces, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg is in the house. What's up, Greg? It's super. I think we should have. I think Greg. We should have them on. And BJ to show off their collection room because they have a really cool collection room that like opens up and it's like the Falcon. Have you seen it, Michael?
I have. And you know what's so cool? First off, having these new guys on, but respectfully, when Gabe and I started Collection Wars, there was just a handful of people that really actually had, these massive, collection rooms. And it's really, really cool to see how many are out there. Now there's so many, people that have, been, inspired by other people's things. And, Gabe obviously was really known for his replicas in the background, and then us doing the big, Death Star deal and from,
Well, Greg and BJ, they're at the Rebel Scum Con, and this is kind of where we first met them. Or I mean, they had been watching and they have, but they didn't really interact too much on like YouTube with us. So the first time we like it clicked was at the Rebel Scum Con in Frisco. Remember in
when we were there together?
The panel. Remember with Nilda?
Nilda, yeah.
Brandon? Yeah. They're the ones that in there asking questions. They said something about like, I think it was like, I don't remember. It was something about like, oh, like your wife was supportive about the collection, and they were both there. And that's the interaction that I remember. I was like, oh, and then I saw them again at the next Rebel Scum Con, and they obviously, they're a big part of the collecting community now, and they have, like I said, a really crazy cool collection room.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
I remember this guy.
Yeah, Guillermo. Keep walking, don't move along. Yeah. Oh, and Big Cat Pete.
There he is.
Pete. Yeah.
Oh man.
I know Pete was also one of those ones that was like
always
every couple of weeks, like, hey man, when's Collection Wars happen? Like
I know. And I know, Pete, you're sincere about what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
You know why? Because there's something about what Star Wars has done to a lot of people that are in this chat and what Collection Wars was originally built on and will continue to be built on, not drama, but just the fun and the love of Star Wars and, being inspired by each other in the community.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
thank you for that, Pete.
Yeah.
Love you, bro.
There you go. From Russia with love.
See, there he is. That's awesome. Thank you.
Who else? We got Johnny in the house. What's up, Johnny? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Right? Jose, feels like a year. I think, yeah, it's probably
Yeah,
about that
maybe
long.
a little
Man,
longer.
we jumped on a few months ago, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm not
it
sure.
feels like months ago. But see, that's the thing with us. Like, me and Michael could we can go like months without talking, and then we just jump back on the phone, and it's just like nothing. Like it's just like we're just chatting up again, right, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good. Gabe's been busy too with, he's, pretty soon he's going to be going on retreats with George Lucas. This guy, I'm very impressed, man. I'm not going to lie. And then, Lee, man, there's the white elephant in the room. Oh, I love that guy.
Welcome back, my dudes. Yeah, Left Coast Graphics. Kaz out. Yeah. Outpost, what's up, man? What else we got in here? Trying to go through it. Carlos Lopez, what's up? I don't want to miss anyone because I know a lot of people are kind of chatting with
each
other, so I don't want to
Six Scale, I missed the show. Good to see you back. Thank you.
Mondo Collection Wars influenced me to create and grow my Star Wars collection.
And I've watched it grow.
Yeah.
And it's very, very unique too. You've done a good job.
Of course, Lee.
Yeah.
What's up, Lee? Lee he's the one who gives me so much shit for I'm
gonna tell you, you either love him or you freaking hate him.
He gives me so much shit for the paid promotion stuff that sometimes a brand will hit me up and they're like, hey, we'll pay you a couple $1,000 for this video or whatever, right? And I'll do it, and it's like a commercial almost, right? Because I'm doing it. He gives me so much shit for it.
Oh yeah.
Crocs just reached out. They're like, yeah, we want to pay you for this. Lee's like, you better not fucking do it. Don't do it.
So Lee's middle name is no bullshit. He doesn't leave anything on the table. He says what he feels, and you gotta love that about him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
no.
I better turn my phone off.
All right, we got Trevor in the house in here.
Yes. Hey, Trevor.
Chris is in here too. But all right, yeah. So that's most of our friends in here. It's so great to see you guys, and yeah, there's been so much, right? So much that we haven't kept up with. Even just in the collecting world as well. But obviously, there's a new Star Wars movie, right? We got Mandalorian and Grogu movie that came out. There's just been so much Star Wars stuff. And I know there's going to be kind of a slow period right now where there's not going to be a lot of crazy, Star Wars stuff going on, but it's going to be leading into the 50th anniversary of A New Hope, which I think that's going to be huge. And I mean, that's our home right there. That's because a lot of the new stuff, it's stuff, right? And a lot of the prequel stuff that they were trying to re-release, that's all cool. But I mean, for the most part, we're original trilogy fans. I'm sure most of us in the chat kind of grew up on the original trilogy. We've had multiple conversations about that. So, leading up to that 50th anniversary and Star Wars Celebration.
Yes.
Crazy. Yep. And they're both around the same time. It's going to be crazy. And
I'm hoping that'll be a really good opportunity for a lot of the people in our Star Wars community that can meet up and we can see everybody at the celebration. But what you just hit off of the 50th anniversary, it's man, I was 7 years old. I don't know whether to be excited about that or just dude, I cannot believe I'm that old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Armando pointed out it's supposedly it's going to be the theatrical version.
Nice.
I'm curious. I'm waiting. If they do, that is going to be such a great move from Disney. Like
Yes.
it kind of it's a little bit of an FU to George Lucas, because he was all about the special editions and he was all about changing them to how he wanted them.
Yep.
So if they go back and play the original theatrical version, I mean, that's cool for fans. Probably George's not gonna be too thrilled about it, but
yeah,
we get to see everything. Greedo, or Han shooting first. We get to see the the original attack on the Death Star without the CGI, X-wings. What else? No Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Kind of a weird deal. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that works out. That plays out.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of also curious, the crawl, right? Because wasn't the crawl different when it was originally it didn't say episode 4?
I'm not sure. That I don't remember.
I think it just said Star Wars, and then later they added the episode 4 into the crawl. I could be mistaken, but yeah, that's gonna be crazy if they re-release that. I really hope they do that for all 3 of them, and just kind of release the unaltered ones. Yeah, obviously for me, we've talked about this, right? Like your favorite is A New Hope. Mine is Return of the Jedi, because that's just what I grew up with. So those changes, right, like that they made later in the Blu-ray editions and all that stuff, with like Darth Vader yelling no and Wicket blinking, these little things, or like changing the ghosts, right, the Force ghosts at the end, things like that. I would love to see kind of in its true release form. So
it's crazy. We get all ages coming in Dark Side at the pizza restaurant, and these young little kids are dressed up, and I'm an old man. Thanks for the comment, Scott, by the way. And then you see that like a lot of them, Johnny probably and Sean, the what is it, the 1, 2, and 3, that's their Star Wars, Just really grateful that I was there to witness at 7 years old. There's just something about the people now, and of course we got to educate the younger generation on the original Star Wars, but to be there as a Generation X and see that in the theater, you just can't explain it. Nobody will ever be able to know that feeling because of technology. We didn't know anything, and it was we've never seen it.
And I think that goes to show, though, like if you think about it, right, it's the experience, right? The theater experience was what hooked us, right? Because even that shot, of the Star Destroyer kind of going over, didn't get this. I mean, sure, like we watched it on VHS, right? We watched it on TV, but I can't even imagine being in the theater for the first time and seeing that over in the theater, right? With the sound, with a bunch of people there. So I think the theater experience plays a huge part in that memory, right? In that memory for.
I'm so glad you said that, Gabe, because I remember it was like 9 months. Because everybody knows. I mean, now a movie comes out 4 weeks later, it's streaming, but that was out for over a year, and I didn't, because my mom was always working. It was little neighbors in my apartment complex. It took me, so it was like 9 months in. But when I came home, I mean, I was Luke, and that feeling of that, and then when the toys just, I mean, look at us. So many of us know what I'm talking about. And there was just something about, and I'm just so grateful that I'm not 56 and don't care about that kind of stuff, whether it's rookie baseball cards or, anything from your childhood. It's just that love for those toys just is the best.
So. Yes, Scott being 7 years old, knowing nothing about the movie, seeing that Dark Destroyer. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yes.
Hey, we got Nilda in the house. What's up, Nilda?
Hey, Nilda, good to see you, hon.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Seeing that in the theater is a huge part of it, and I think that's one of those conversations that's been going on right now with with a lot of Star Wars fans, with like the Mandalorian movie, right? Because we'll get into that. We'll talk about the Mandalorian with. You watched it, right, Michael?
I did. Let's talk about it. I'm definitely.
Yeah. So we could definitely we'll talk about it. I don't know if we want to talk about it now or get.
Let's talk about it.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, so obviously we got a new Star Wars movie in the theaters, and there's been a little. I've seen a little divide here and there. I mean, I think it's either people like it or they don't, right? But I think it was like one of those, typical Star Wars fandom, right? That you're gonna start talking about it and talking either bad or good about it. But I think that's the big part of the experience is watching it in the theaters, right? Because a lot of people are like, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna wait for it to come out on Disney Plus or whatever, right? But I'm like, that's a big part of it, man. Like even just the prequels, right? Even watching the prequels, they weren't the best, but watching it in the theater with a bunch of fans, and every time something would come up, boom, the whole theater would erupt, and it was just such an experience. Like, how can you not go do that, right? Regardless of what you think of the movie, it's like that experience is it's magical, man. Especially you got kids, bringing them along for that type of experience, right? Like think about it. They're gonna grow up and they're gonna be like, what was your first Star Wars movie? And they're like, well, I was old enough to go to Mandalorian, but my parents didn't want to take me because they're anti-Disney or what, I don't know, whatever the reasons, right? Like my parents thought it was not a good movie. Get in there, go watch it. I loved it. I was one of those ones that, I went in there with zero expectations. I've already pre-programmed my brain ever since Book of Boba Fett. And Book of Boba Fett was the one that like really like, well, actually, no, even before that, I think the sequels, a lot of the sequel part. But as far as like the shows and the series, Book of Boba Fett, I was so hyped for it.
Yeah.
Got like let down like so bad. So then this time around, I was like, no, I'm like zero expectations. I'm going in. I really don't know. I don't want to know any spoilers. I don't want to know anything about it. And I went in it and it was fun. It was great. It was, a super fun, action-packed Mandalorian episode. And my kids loved it. The comedy was right on point. It wasn't like overly cheesy. Like there's a lot of funny little like lines. It was fun. It was like, I think what it was meant to be. It's going to bring in a lot of new fans, but what did you think, Michael?
Might surprise you because I am about all the newer stuff, but I want to give a big thanks to Jon Favreau because he's under a lot of pressure to make sure that, of course, he's OG, so he wants to hit, the hardcore fans. I'm being respectful when I say hardcore fans, I would say when I say hardcore, the ones that are very judgmental about things, and he wants to make sure, like little things like throwing the a Kenner toy that was never in Star Wars ever in it. I liked the movie, the theatrical experience. Like you said, I did go see it. Like John had mentioned, you got to see it at IMAX. I did. The popcorn, the watching in the movie theater, the story. Listen, seeing the Grogu, in the swamp when he's trying to repair, get Mando back on his feet. I liked the Dagobah feel, the kind of because nothing has to always be action packed nonstop. Of course, nowadays it does, but for old school people, my favorite, like in Empire, is the quiet time on Dagobah when it's just Luke, R2, and Yoda, and they're not doing anything else, just chilling and talking about things. And I like that. Nowadays, people are like, "This is boring," but I enjoyed those little things and seeing some of the new characters. The Amana Man, how do I say that? Amana Man. It's
like you're saying banana.
Yeah.
Man.
By the way, if you haven't seen this, I'm gonna say some shit. So, anyways,
now,
and how they made it, I don't know if it was if they did practical effects with some of the droids, how they did the stop motion. Like those are the little things that, like, I think us OG people would be like, hey, that's like watching Sinbad or something.
Yeah.
That's like Phil Tippett's go-to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So seeing those kind of things, all in all, I thought it was a good movie. There was things that, seeing Sigourney Weaver and I mean, dude, I'm sorry. She's from Alien, seeing her in the X-Wing, like, come on, that kind of stuff I don't really care about. But the movie, all in all, I would honestly say 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I would see it again. I would actually watch that one again. So,
Yeah.
just to get, seeing like, Favreau, not it wasn't Favreau, but who passed. There was a couple of them that were in the background sitting there. Those things they don't need to do, but I think the Mandalorian character is badass.
Yeah.
And I don't care whether you can't stand Grogu or Baby Yoda just because of what has happened with Baby Yoda, but I don't think there was one entire person out there that saw the original Mando when they saw those little ears and there's like a Baby Yoda, how freaking cool that was. That was badass. But, it did get kind of glorified a little bit and we kind of lost it a little bit. But it would have been great, like if Luke could have came back, even if it was CGI, just seeing, some of those little things. But, I'm sorry to keep rambling, but it was a Star Wars movie. I have trained myself to go and watch Star Wars, these newer releases, whether it's, the cartoon versions, which I've been watching with Haley, the
you have?
Badass, I know. And I liked it. I loved it. It's amazing. But
have you watched them all yet?
I have.
Oh yeah.
I watched it. But I keep my original OG 4, 5, and 6 separate to anything. It's just you know what I mean? That's how I get through it,
Yep. That's how you have to do it. I saw a video of somebody recently, like on TikTok, and it was like somebody saying like, he's like, it's not my Star Wars anymore. Like it's not. It now belongs to more people, right? It belongs to like a younger generation. Like it doesn't mean like you can't, hold on to your version of Star Wars, but it's just not. It's no longer that anymore, right? It's expanded beyond that, and which is true. I'm like, look, if we can separate those 3 movies and keep them. Actually, you know what? In my headcanon, I put Andor and Rogue One along with those other 3 movies. Yes. Like that's my prequels. Like Andor season 1, season 2, and then Rogue One. Really the prequels, right?
That's good.
In my headcanon, that's like my comfort Star Wars, right? Those are the ones that I'm like, man, I love that. I love the story. That brings me lots of joy watching it. Everything else, I have to look at it as like, just objective and
it's a Star Wars deal.
Yeah, if you like it, you like it. Great. It's just entertainment, right? Just like anything else. So
I will tell you, and this is kind of like after Mando, like the next day, all these things were hitting out there. I saw a lot of stuff that you were posting with Regal and I the 6 scale Hot Toys, some of the stuff that they were coming out with the new Mando stuff, some of those characters, I love those characters. I love that bounty hunter. Haley knew who he was through the cartoon stuff, but that stuff I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and then this one here, I'm going to show it really quick. So this little Easter egg, I thought of you. So when I saw this, let me take up Pete's comment so people can see. Yeah. So this right here.
Yeah.
That's right. So awesome. The mini rigs.
Yes.
I immediately, when I saw that poster, I was like, oh man, Michael. Because again, you've been building the 6 scale ones, right? The bigger ones.
You remember that. So that's so crazy. So Izzy, I don't know if you remember Izzy. He's been doing a lot of those. That's the one that he has in hand and hasn't finished yet. He's finished every other mini rig in 6 scale. And since then, I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but I don't know if Gabe knows any of the new status, but Gentle Giant went belly up, and, I was next to get the FX7. I paid that, thing to be on there, but I love those 6 scale, original vintage line. And there's so many things that you can think of right now that back then when we started this show, it couldn't be done. But now anything you can pretty much think about, it can be done.
Well, and that was the cool thing about the Mando movie is that there was a lot of cool callbacks that, again, for like original trilogy fans, they were like, oh, wait a second. Like that. The mini rig was one. Mm-hmm. The chess set scene. Right?
Yes,
like how cool was that to see like the chess, the chess monsters, like in live action. And then the arena is actually the chess set, if you notice. Like they have patterns. I'm like, dude, that was great. That was like a great way to integrate them. I would have never ever thought that we would see those like in live action, and they did a great job. Like it was so cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. And seeing the Jabba, I know some people were like the Jabba, but I never saw the cartoon side. So Haley knew of Jabba's kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what? But when I saw the character was actually, I mean,
likable.
Yeah, it was pretty neat,
Yeah. And again, if you look at it from an eye of like, all right, let's like look, the Jabba, that Jabba character, right? Rada, that Easter egg had the same impact to like, the younger fans, the ones that grew up on Clone Wars and like the cartoons and stuff, had the same impact as us seeing the Dejarik set, right? Seeing the chess monsters. Because for us, it's like, oh shit, like I remember those from A New Hope, and now we're seeing them alive. For them, they saw Baby Rada in the cartoons when he was a little tiny baby. So he was like, little runt. And so for them, that callback is like, oh, there's our Easter egg for the younger fans. And even the prequel fans, right? When you go into Jabba's, like the Jabba twins palace, a lot of them are like old, prequel droids, right? There's some of the like traditional, what are they called? The Roger types of like those droids.
Yeah, that's right. They were all like beefed up and stuff. Yeah. A lot of that stuff is like tributes to George and his team that created a lot of those things. You know what I mean? And of course, Phil Tippett. I mean, what do you think it's like for him to see that stuff?
Oh, and then those robots that Phil created for them, and it was all stop motion too.
Okay, wait a minute. So did Phil create that for this show?
Yeah, for that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and that's why I said he would be proud. No wonder. Yeah, that was kind of back to like RoboCop shit. Is badass.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna bring those. Yeah. So these were created by Phil Tippett, and if you look at the plaque, it says Tippett.
Check out these screen use stop motion figures from the new.
You don't need to hear me on there.
Dude.
But yeah, so these Tippett, and they're all stop motion.
So those are probably the pieces that they used.
Oh, they are 100%. Yeah. It was all stop motion. So
that is so cool.
They worked on all that, and they look crazy. Like when you see them up close, they're probably about the size of like a 6 scale, maybe probably made like 18 inches tall, maybe 16 inches tall when you see them in real life. So they're actually smaller than you would think, right? But they just did such an amazing job. And that was one of the cool things about, leading up to the movie. Obviously, the props were really cool to see, right? Like we saw the snowtroopers, where I thought initially, because there was no confirmation, do you remember the snowtroopers with the
you didn't know if they were the full.
I thought they were like maybe new troopers or something, because I was like, they're gonna try to capitalize on on the marketing aspect of it, and not realizing that they're actually the regular snowtroopers, but without the face covering, right?
Yes.
So this is one of the screen use things, and for you guys that maybe don't follow me on social media, I got invited by Lucasfilm to this. It's like early screening of the movie where they showed us the first like 20 minutes of it. But before that, they invited us to Jon Favreau's studios where they filmed some of the movie and some of the shows. And they had a whole hangar with all of the original screen. Well, not all of them, but a ton of the original screen use props there. Mm-hmm. And we didn't know, right? We thought we were there just for like a special event. We thought we're like, oh, all right, maybe they're going to show us part of the movie. That was kind of almost expected. But then when they walked us into that hangar, like they did such a good job too about it. They're like, okay, like nobody, because at first they were like, you guys could film whatever you want. Like you guys can have your phones out. But for that hangar, they were like, all right, nobody can have their phones out. Nobody can do anything. and that's because they wanted that initial reaction of us, like instead of like on our phones, we're walking into that hangar and it's like, what the hell? Like it was the most shocking thing. And then one of the reasons why we weren't allowed to film was because we had Kathleen Kennedy was in there when they walked us in.
That's unbelievable.
Jon Favreau came in and like talked to us about the props and all that stuff. So
that almost looks like you put her in the picture. It doesn't even look real.
Because they had a professional photographer. Because we weren't allowed to have our phones, right? So because we weren't allowed to have our phones, they had a professional photographer. She was there, just standing there, and I recognized her. I was like, "Oh my god, like that's Kathleen Kennedy." So I looked at the camera person. I was like, "Hey, take a picture of me next to her, please. Like, please get a picture next to her." And he was like, "Just ask her, like, but like quietly because she was right there." He was like, "Ask her to take a picture," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" You know how I am, like,
you won't do it.
I don't really like doing that. I'm like very like shy about that kind of stuff. So I was like, you know, Miss Kennedy, like, thank you so much for everything you've done. Like, obviously, I grew up with a lot of the movies that you produced, right? Like, I was Indiana Jones, E.T., I mean, you name it, right?
Yes.
And she was like, "Oh, thank you." She's super nice. And I was like, "Do you mind if I get a photo with you?" And I pointed at the photographer. She's like, "Absolutely." She even puts her purse down, gives it to her assistant, like, super nice. Like, it was just, she was such a nice lady. And I got
that was probably one of the biggest highlights of your Star Wars influence career, huh?
It was crazy. It was just crazy to be able to be there with her. And again, like a lot of people have, you know, different opinions about her and, you know, her.
Well, I'm the one, believe it or not. Nobody's behind the scenes at the Disney meetings and corporate, and knowing, all I know that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas had a lot of love and trust with her through the years. George Lucas is who put her in charge. I would still say those new movies sucked, but I respect her big time. And I had the opportunity to meet her very briefly, probably a little briefer, not as long as you got to. I didn't get to like interact, but I did get to just tell her thank you for everything. And she was really nice. And we talked back. It was really nice.
Have a little speck on my nose. Oh,
no, that's funny.
No, man, come on. You got to admit, with her, she was like that. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And again, she was like super nice. Hey, and you got to remember,
dude, she is cute. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, for her age and stuff. When I met her, I was like, damn, dude, if I was single,
the speck.
Anyways.
Marcel's talking about my piercing. I've had this for a long time. Michael made fun of me years ago about my piercing.
Yeah. I'm talking about banging Kathleen Kennedy. You're talking about ear piercing. I'm sorry.
That's what
I'm sorry. This is a family thing. I forgot we're not going to talk about stuff like that. Hey, so on a serious note, somebody just put in the deal. Absolutely, rest in peace, Marcia Lucas.
Yeah,
man.
That
a shocker.
What was it?
Was that a shocker to you?
That was, because I mean, she wasn't that old, like, right? Especially like you think about it, like compared to like, I mean, George, she was what, 80? Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess 80s, you know, that's getting up, but you don't think about it because, dude, Harrison Ford, right, is like 90, right? Isn't he like already like nearing 90?
I'm not sure.
I think he's like nearing 90. I mean, obviously, John Williams is like 93, 94, right? So like, dude, like they're getting up there, and it's
crazy.
It's another.
You don't seem to have a birthday like every 3 months. Clint Eastwood. I swear to God, it seems like every like 3 or 4 months I see a happy birthday Clint Eastwood, and I mean, I don't know what's going on. I love that guy. Man, talk about. But you know, in regards to Marcia, you know, a lot of things came out in the last couple of years about Marcia and her role in Star Wars, her thoughts on the new movies, the prequels, and her thoughts. And man, if you want to take anyone with a grain of salt, and knowing that girl's hardcore and wasn't ever a mean person, but I can tell you that a lot of the producers from the originals and anyone who worked with her
Mhm.
had nothing but incredible things to say. It almost made you respectfully look at Lucas like, man, dude, what sucked it? It's I don't want, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. Well, those documentaries,
you know,
that documentary that came out, that Icon.
yeah, it was terrible, and they were all like on her, but she said a lot of good things. It's almost like she was able to say her piece.
Yeah.
You know, but thank you for your role because
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I think George would probably say it. I don't think Star Wars would have been Star Wars without Marcia.
Yeah. I mean, we know that, right? We know like the Force and a lot of the decisions she made in editing and was trying to like push for.
Yes.
Was
And hey, so we don't get off too far because I wanted to bring something up to you. We were talking about Mando and the fact that you were able to go and see these archives. I mean, you know me, dude. I would have. Golly, I mean, to be able to get in there and not get in trouble.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to play a video too. But go ahead, Michael.
Okay, so I was just going to bring up. So, Gabe, you have been super busy this last year. Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
you've been doing. Started out as Star Wars replicas for how long now?
10 years now since I've been making content.
Quite a while. And I know you have quite the following. That all being said, though, I know you, like a lot of other people, you put a lot of time and spend a lot of time, trying to create these things for people to see. Yeah. Getting invited to like go see Maul, and I found out, talking to you that, what's it like getting that invitation to come to a red carpet event like Maul, and most importantly, like, Mando, because I'm not going to lie, dude, I was very jealous that I couldn't be there next to you, on the red carpet, Robert Rodriguez. And
that was crazy.
Yeah, screw that guy. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, you know what I think about that. No, but seriously, I need to tell you about him and Darkseid. But the bottom line is, being able to sit in that movie theater, leading up to, I know you were doing a lot of videos on the upcoming when you got to watch it for the 20 minutes, but you also got to go and sit and watch the actual movie, but sitting in that auditorium with Favreau talking about his dad and everything. And then when the movie starts, knowing that you're watching this and he's in the audience with a lot of the other, producers and actors and stuff, that must have been really cool.
Yeah. No, man, look, honestly, the last month or last 60 days has been probably like the craziest 2 months of my entire like Star Wars content creation, honestly, like of my life. I mean, at this point, like there was very exciting just opportunities that I got in the last like 60 days, starting in probably about April, right? So here's the thing. So yeah, Maul came out and they invited a bunch of fans, and I'll talk about that a little bit because a lot of people think that like, oh, it's like just these influencers get invited and all that. That's far from the truth. And in fact, like if you look at the people that are actually there, a lot of them are, just fans that are, a lot of them don't have a big following. There are some people in there with like 100 followers, 200 followers. They're just there, right? And is
it random? Is it a lotto that you guys get to go?
No. It's what it is. It's the Star Wars account. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, that when you're posting on social media, the Star Wars account is watching, right? Anytime a video goes somewhat viral or like, they're tagging Star Wars or whatever, the Star Wars marketing team will sometimes catch a video, right? I've seen a lot of them where it's like some random family that's like at Disneyland and the little kid's like, oh my God, like there's Darth Vader. And then you see the Star Wars account in the comments and all of a sudden they're getting a PR bot.
I got you.
So that's what I mean. It's not necessarily like, the big accounts, right? Like the ones with the big following. That's not true. Far from it. Like I said, for the Maul event, literally there was so many fans in there with just like, let's say 1,000 followers, 2,000, like small creators and a lot of cosplayers. A lot of the 501st get invited. A lot of, just like people that love you know, the Star Wars stuff, right? That are positive. They invite them, and you know, they got to go to Lucasfilm. I didn't get to go for the mall at Lucasfilm because we took a trip to Europe, and we were coming back the day after the event. So I did get invited, but I didn't get to go. Super bummed. I was like, man, that sucks. Like I didn't get to go. I would have loved to see the first episodes of Maul in the show.
Yeah.
But then I got an invitation to this event for the Mando and Grogu movie, right? Which was the archive, thing, right? And that one, again, a lot of people think like, oh, like it just got gave, and like there's certain, only certain, I hate the word influencer because that's
I understand.
Far from what we are, but like,
I understand. Sorry, I said that a minute ago.
No, you're good. I mean, a lot of people think like, oh, it's just them, and maybe to them it seems that way because you follow me and you're getting my content on your feed, and you're not following the other 100 other people that are there.
I don't know any of them. That's
right. With smaller accounts, or they might focus on other stuff like movies, or they might focus on Disney stuff, or they might just be random accounts, right? Random fan accounts. So I think a lot of people don't realize that there's a ton of people at these events. Most I don't know, right? Because they're not part of our like collecting community, right? Like I come from the collecting community. That's my core base of friends and people that like Star Wars are in the collecting community. Now I've made friends with a lot of the ones that are creating content and stuff like that. But my core group of friends are from the collecting community, and there's not a lot of us being invited to these events, right? There isn't. Probably like me, who else did I see there? Maybe like one or two other people that collect, right? Or like that are like kind of claim to be like collector content creators were there, but most of them are like cosplayers or like just other, they create content regarding other stuff like the shows, or maybe they have podcasts about Star Wars. But anyways, there's a ton of people at these events, and it's super cool to see a lot of them, right? Sean was there.
Yeah.
Sean Gonzalez with his wife. Like she started making content. She's, she makes great content.
Yeah.
She got noticed by Lucasfilm and got invited to it, right?
That's
so
cool.
Again, when we really like kind of pull back and like, well, why is Gabe always the one getting invited? It's like that's not true. Like that's far from the truth. Like
I think it was the Falcon event. When y'all all walked in on the Falcon, that's when you got a lot of heat, right? You're like, what the hell? It was a real surprise, huh? You told me.
A Pedro?
Yeah, with Pedro.
Oh yeah, dude, I'll tell you guys all about that thing. That was insane. But that's leading up to that, right?
Okay.
Let me so first thing, obviously, we get to go to the mall event. Mall event was super cool. A lot of Star Wars fans, like across the board. Like I said, small accounts, big accounts, you name it. There were just so many people there. And that one was at the Walt Disney Animation Studios. And that was great because we actually, Dave Filoni was in there, and, we got to watch the last 2 episodes of Maul, which you watched it. Those 2 last episodes were freaking crazy, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it because I really do want people to watch it. And I've been telling all like the original trilogy friends that I have, dude, like, trust me, I don't push the animation stuff. I really don't, because I'm not a huge fan of them. But Maul, you have to watch that series.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
right.
Really good. Mm-hmm.
Michael likes it, guys. Like,
yeah, if I like it, that says something.
Yeah.
So, Pete, thanks for the comment, and Armando, yeah, with the gate thing. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And
Haley loved it. My daughter, she loved it.
Yeah, no, I mean that Maul, look at best, story writing, animation.
Yeah. They do a really good job. It's hard to even, I mean, just the way they do it,
Yeah.
you don't think of it as like cartoons, you know what I mean?
No. Yeah. They did such a good job on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we got invited to the mall, and you got to remember, like, these things, you know, you get invited a little bit far in advance, right? But at the mall, we still didn't know. Nobody knew like who was going to go to any of the events. Like I hadn't gotten invited to the Mandalorian event yet, so they take it in steps, right? So then I also, you know, after we got to you know, after the mall event, that's when everyone was like, all right, like the next big event is going to be the Mandalorian and Grogu, you know, red carpet. And we're always like, who's going to get invited? And to be honest, there was a lot of people that were already posting that they were invited. Again, smaller accounts. And I say smaller accounts, meaning like, you know, a lot of people think like, oh, like the influencers have like 100,000 or more followers. Like, no. Like we're talking about people with like 1,000 followers, you know, 5,000, like just smaller creator accounts started posting online that they were already invited to the Mandalorian and Grogu premiere. And I hadn't. And you know, I've been in communication with some of my other buddies that also do like, you know, the content on Instagram and on TikTok. I'm like, hey, have you heard anything? Like, did you get invited? Like, no. They invited like a bunch of just like smaller accounts, a lot of just like of the fan base, a lot of the cosplayers, a lot of just the, you know, just overall fans that they found just online, just random accounts, right? There was one that was like a Disney employee that, you know, they love Star Wars and they've been together since whatever, right? Like a long time ago, and they shared that passion. So a lot of things like that. A lot of people that was their first time attending to these red carpets were invited, where they were just like, you know, they're traveling from like across the country just to come to that event and go right back home. Which is great because I got to meet a lot of those people in person that I follow. And again, maybe not everyone follows them, and maybe that's why they don't realize there was a ton of people invited to that premiere. Like there's at least 200 Star Wars fans of like that I see on social media, and not, like I said, not big influencer type, you know, accounts. And it was just such a cool experience, man. I took Andy, you know, and you know how Andy is. She looked
like one of the stars, one of the
well, here, I'll play you guys just the quick little video that I edited for that. But she was hilarious, dude. At one point we saw Christopher Lloyd. And Doc Brown was.
She's opened up quite a bit in the last while. She's opened up compared.
Oh, Andy?
Yeah, she used to be a little bit more reserved, you know.
Oh, not at these events. At these events, she's funny, man.
He owns it, huh?
So she's always like, go talk to him.
Yeah, that's
no. I'm not gonna go talk to him. I'm not gonna bother him.
Yeah.
She's like, go. It's Doc Brown. When so you're gonna do that? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then Logan Daniel, you know, the young Boba Fett was with them, and him I know, so I went and talked to him. But I just kind of nodded my head to like Christopher Lloyd, like, hey, how you dude? 3 minutes later, Andy was over there just talking to Christopher Lloyd because she's just like whatever, like they're just regular people. Andy's like really good about that. Like she'll just go and talk to like just random celebrities.
You didn't get to talk to him?
I mean, they were kind of ushering him out, like they were like trying to get him aside. So I didn't get.
Why was he there? Was he in it?
Well, he was in season 3 of the Mandalorian.
Right.
So that's
probably
why he was invited.
Yeah, I was wondering. You know, I was talking about him the other day. I don't know, a lot of us OG guys, when you look back at some of the old movies or TV shows, even like Taxi, Grant, and you see these people like in the movie Taxi, Christopher Lloyd was in there. And he was old when I was a little kid. And now I'm old, and he's, you know, it's like that guy You know what I'm saying? Is like when he would
Yeah.
probably back then he was in his 40s. He looked like he was in his 60s. You know,
Like, how is he still?
yeah, it's crazy. It's when you see a lot of people from the 70s and stuff, and
Yeah.
you like Archie Bunker. When you see that show and you see him in there, you don't realize you think he was a lot older, but he really wasn't. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
crazy.
So here, I'm gonna bring up just that video really quick so you guys.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because here, let me bring that up really quick. So like all those Mandalorian, those are all just fans that were there. There's Andy, yeah. You know, they were doing
Oh,
interviews.
talking like a reporter and shit.
They had they're interviewing people at the end.
Yeah.
Like there's Favreau, there's Paul, there's Ezra, and Andy's again. She's super funny with this guy because like we seen him so many times now at like conventions and at like events, and every time she's like, "Come on, like you guys are best
I
friends."
think you're one of the producers or something.
She's funny. There's Minghua, so she was in Book of Boba Fett. What's her character's name? I forgot. She's also Milan. She's like, there's Tia Carrera, Andy with Tia Carrera with Wayne World's girlfriend.
Beautiful.
This was crazy with Adam Savage because Adam was in my same group when they were ushering us in. So I actually got to talk to him for quite a bit.
That's cool.
I got to show him my collection. We were talking about like the Regal Robot stuff. Like it was, and again, because we had that, that connection.
Yeah, for sure.
And Gordon Tarpley and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool because I got to spend some actual kind of quality time with him. That's Sarah. She's Marshall. There was Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That one was pretty crazy for me. I was like, "Oh shit, there's Robert."
Was he really cool?
Oh, he was super cool.
Yeah.
And I even told him, I was like, I just made my wife watch Desperado a couple weeks ago, which is true. And he's like, "Man, can you believe it's 31 years old or something like that?" I was like, "Yeah, that's insane."
Yeah.
That's Jar Jar Binks. That's the CEO of Disney now. Like he's the main like head honcho of all of
No
them.
shit.
Yeah. This guy's a photographer. That's Xochitl. So she's in like the Marvel movies. She's in like a bunch of them.
Is that a nip? Is that a nip right there? I'm just kidding.
My wife was the one who was like, "She is so beautiful. Like I gotta ask her for a picture."
You sure that's not a nip right there? I'm just kidding. Never mind. I'm just kidding.
It's not.
Okay.
That's a little kid from Skeleton Crew.
Nice.
This guy's a writer, and they had a bunch of props.
Dude, is that the original ship from the movie?
Yeah.
I know it was in the archive thing that you went and saw.
Yeah.
Right?
See, and look, like all these creators, right? All these content creators, right here.
That's so bad. I love that thing.
There's like a bunch of them, and again, like a lot of them don't have huge accounts, right? They're just positive about Star Wars. They make content, and they're just like, "Hey, like I love Star Wars." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but again, as you can see there, in the collectors. Oh, there, yeah. Crystal, she's a collector. She's probably the other one that gets a lot of the invites as well. So she's in there. But yeah, no, it was really cool to see that and seeing the props, seeing Grogu. Obviously the biggest part, and again, we'll get to the Pedro thing right now, but I feel like there's so much that we haven't talked about and we didn't keep up with. But seeing those props to me was like the biggest thing. Like seeing that one that was at the premiere, and then seeing the bunker. Let me just show the bunker really quick because that was my favorite part of this whole.
When you were in there, and it was Favreau in there too.
He came in a little bit after, but yeah.
Okay. Did you get to see him?
Yeah. Here, I'll show you guys.
Did you talk to him or anything or no?
I'm the one who was asking him questions. So there's Favreau right there. Yeah. There's me right there. So I was right in front of him. I'm the one asking him questions. I was like, "Hey, I see a lot of like Easter egg stuff from like the original trilogy. how did you decide to like put in a lot of the original trilogy? And right there is when he told the story about his dad taking him to the movies and the toys and all that stuff. And then he kept on using that story in all the interviews. But it's crazy that I'm the one who asked him that question.
That's badass.
And that's when he was like, yeah, oh yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. So look, I grew up with those toys. I grew up, playing with them, and like my dad took me to the movie, and then, so the original trilogy was huge. So I wanted to, make sure that the fans, yeah, dude, because again, he's answering my question. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, so that was an insane moment for him to be in there. But he signed some and in fact, nobody was ready for the autographs. He was like, does anybody want me to sign anything? And everyone's like, yeah. Like, and the only thing we had was these little coasters. So he signed these little coasters for us. But let me see if I can find a good like
that's hilarious.
Here. This is probably the better of the videos.
Dude, that is badass.
So they had a lot of the stuff.
Holy crap, that's so cool.
Oh, let me go back. They had a lot of the props from the ones that we saw at Celebration. Remember we saw that at at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim?
Yep.
They had those. So they had all the helmets. They had the ships there. They had the actual Razor Crest in there that we got to go inside. That was crazy that they let us.
That little ship, dude, I was like, man, I'd love to have that.
Dude, that ship was so cool. All the robots. And sorry, it's a little like if you guys want to see, there's a 30-minute walkthrough that I posted on my YouTube channel.
I wonder if that's Michael McMaster's R5.
It is. So Michael McMaster was there that day.
Oh, badass!
Yeah, so I got to talk to him, and
nice.
He was controlling the little duck droids.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, he's been busy.
Yeah. I mean, he's in there. He does a lot of the droid stuff for the movies, for the shows.
That's what's so cool about Lucasfilm. They reach our friend Brad Bishop. I mean, they go outside the realm to bring in people to help, be part of the film. Absolutely.
They do. They take care of the fandom. They really go and pick from the fandom. And again, look, that's where, and we have to talk about it because there was a lot of kind of just weird jealousy going on with that whole Pedro thing. And I'll talk about how that even happened. But
dude, did you like grab something without anybody looking?
I know, right, dude? Trust me, the Lucasfilm people were in there, and every single one would come up to me and be like, "Gabe, I bet you're like in heaven right now." Because out of all of the people in there, they knew that I was like the prop collector, that I was like into.
You're walking out with a helmet on. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Oh, dude, and I could have been in there for hours. Like I could have sat in there.
No shit. Oh, I mean, are you saying you could have, like they would have let you, or you?
No, I'm saying if they would have let me.
Yeah.
So like as people did a little quick walkthrough and then went back outside to this little patio section where they had food. So they were hanging out. Dude, I was in here this whole entire time.
That's where I would have been too.
Filming. I was like, I need to document this because I will never have this opportunity. Like again, I want to film everything. So I filmed everything vertical with my phone, like for like Instagram and TikTok, and then realized, shit, I should have recorded it horizontal for YouTube as well. So then I went back and redid the whole like walkthrough, horizontal. So I have a lot of footage. And it's kind of cool because remember our friend from JJ Industries, remember they did the big Spike, the Mandalorian Spike. He does a lot of metal work. Anyways, he hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I saw that you went to this event." He's like, "Do you happen to have any reference pictures of like this sword?" I was like, "Yeah, dude." So I sent him everything I had. Dude, I've helped out at least 5 prop makers that are like, "I just need some reference of this piece. You went to this thing?" I was like, 100%. Here you go. And I would find my stuff and I would be like, "Here's a screenshot. Here's the picture." And they're also grateful because, like the one that made one of the, I think called the Toxic Collector. I think that's the account. They made a little Rod of the Hutt little maquette, the little small one,
Nice.
and they needed more reference. And because of me, they didn't realize it had a tail until they saw my footage, and they're like, "Oh, it has a little tail." Like people thought it was just like a little round Java slug. But
There's
anyway,
a lot of stuff in there.
oh, and then Tom made all those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all those monsters that are on the wall right there.
No kidding.
Those are all Tom's designs that they made for the movie.
So he does a lot of like they're like concept designs. Is that right? Or
no, these were actually props in the movie. So
badass.
if you watch it again, or next time you watch it,
Yeah.
when you go into the main Imperial bad guy, you know, the one that like was selling the salt.
Yeah.
He was the salt, the spice dealer, or whatever. When they go into his house, into his office, he has those mounted up on the ceiling.
Oh, that's cool.
On the walls. So yeah, Tom Spina Designs created all those specifically for the film, and they were there. You see them throughout that fight scene. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if anybody wants to watch that whole walkthrough, like I said, it's on my YouTube channel. It's about 30 minutes long that I just kind of walked through. They also took us to the sets where they filmed some of the scenes. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Man, that must have been a really exciting thing.
Yeah, like here's, you could kind of see my head right there, but it's like that's where Sigourney Weaver and Mandalorian are sitting in the movie. See that seat right behind Mando?
Yeah.
That's where they actually filmed that scene.
Oh yeah.
So so that was a really cool experience, and I thought, like, dude, like nothing could top that. Like that's the top. Like I'm good. Like for all the hard work that I put for so many years, like creating
awesome.
content, I was like,
deserve that, Gabe. You deserve that.
I was like, that's it. Like there's nothing that can be better. So we're at the premiere, having a great time and everything. And during the premiere, right at the premiere, I get a message again from Star Wars, right? And they're like, hey, like we want to invite you to be the first to experience the new Star Wars Mandalorian Millennium Falcon ride.
You're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. And again, I was just like, dude, it's like one after another. I'm like, dude, and I was telling my wife, I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like I'm getting invited to like, event after event. Like this is so cool. And again, look, you got to remember the Mandalorian Grogu red carpet, like I'm super fortunate to be there. I am so grateful that I was there, but there was like hundreds of other Star Wars fans and other Star Wars creators there, right? Like there was a lot of people there. So then when I got that other message where they're like, hey, like we want to invite you to be the first to ride this Millennium Falcon. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Like this is crazy. And I even like asked them, I was like, can I bring my wife? Like, is that something like I could bring? And they're like, no, unfortunately this one, there's no plus one. It's just you. Right. And I was like, oh, I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, gotta go.
Yeah, because
love you, honey.
I thought about it. I was like, oh, it's they're going to let us go into the Falcon. Right. And there's only 6 passengers. I'm like, that obviously there's not going to be a lot of room for a lot of people in there. So I was like, cool. Yeah, I'll be there. Right. And it was a couple of days after, like literally like 2 days after. So then, yeah, so we're there again to go and watch to go experience the Millennium Falcon. And while we're there, I'm there with some other like creators that, that do Star Wars content that also got invited, but only a few. Like it was literally a small handful of us that were there. And we're like, yeah, like I can't wait to ride this. Like it's so, we love the Millennium Falcon ride. Like it's gonna be so cool. And then we start hearing, from social media that Dave Filoni is in the parks. So we're like, oh shoot, Dave Filoni's in the parks. I was like, I bet you like they're probably gonna try to like, like we're gonna be riding the ride and then Dave Filoni's gonna like sit in with us. We're like, dude, that's gonna be so cool if they do that. Like, and we're like literally just like excited because we think Dave Filoni is here. There's no way like that's gonna be a coincidence, right? Like we're there to ride the Millennium Falcon. We're gonna be the first to ride it. Of course, like Dave Filoni's gonna be here, right? So we're there. We're waiting to to get on. It's taken a long time for them to like get us onto the ride, and then finally they're like, yeah, let's get you guys on and experience the Mandalorian ride. So then this happens, right? So as I'm walking in, actually before that, they kind of put us by height, right? They're like, all right, when you guys walk in, it's gonna be by height. One of the other creators asks to switch with me. She's like, Gabe, I don't want to be in the front. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't want to be, I get like anxious about it. Do you mind swapping? I was like, yeah, of course. So I'm in the front now. Right. So then, so then we walk in and we see, and I'm going to,
Pedro Pascal just surprised.
I'm going to fast forward to like, so we don't see this, right? We don't. So here, you see me right there?
Yeah.
Look, there's me right there, right?
Yeah.
And we're walking into the Millennium Falcon. And right when we walk in, like you've been on it.
A little kid.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it looks like. You walk in and you see the chess table, right? You see the chess table off the side. Mm-hmm. But like as soon as I walk in, they're like, Bright Suns travelers. There's a bunch of people around with cameras. There's a whole like team. There's a bunch of people in suits. Like there's just like a bunch of people around it, right? And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like this is crazy. They're gonna film our experience on the ride, right? I was like, this is so cool. So like you see me, I'm like already in shock because there's a bunch of cameras and a bunch of people all around. So I'm like, oh shit, like this is crazy. So you see me, and then we walk in, and right in front we see that, and that's actually me right there, right? You actually see my hand, so because I'm the first one. You see my arm right there?
Yeah, the tats. Yeah.
Yeah, you see my tattoos? I'm the first one. So they pull us up, and I'm like 2 feet away from it. I'm like literally right in front. So I see this, and I'm like, oh, it's the Mandalorian from the parks, right? Because there's one that walks around with Grogu.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I was like, like that's cool, but like whatever. Like we've seen him outside in the parks, like, but it's a cool little like touch for them to like bring in Mando to be like, you're the first to ride, the new Falcon ride, right?
Yes.
So they sit us next, or they put us, next to him, and they're like, you guys know him, right? And like we're like, yeah, like sure, we know.
You're all looking at him like, hey, what's that?
Yeah, and they're like, everyone gather around. He has a special message for you guys. He's like, do you have anything to say before these travelers go on their journey? And he's like, yeah. So you got to remember, I'm right there. I'm 2 feet away from him. Like I'm probably the closest. Like
you could have punched him in the face.
I could have, yeah. Like if I reached out, and then he takes off his helmet like that, and look at my face. I'm like, oh, and like I look back. Look at how I'm like looking at this girl. I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening. Like, look at my face. Everybody is like looking at each other like, holy, like what the hell just happened? He takes off his mask, and it's Pedro Pascal, and like we're freaking out, right? And then he's like, now y'all gotta die because you've seen my face. But when he's saying that, he's looking right at me, like because I'm that.
Then you punched him in the face
because I'm that close. The person he's looking at right there is me. Because I'm the one that's like right at eye level to him.
That's so cool.
And then he goes and does handshakes to everybody. And then they're like, all right, everybody get a picture in. And they brought us all close together. And in fact, the girl that's in the front, she does like cosplay and stuff. She was in the very back, and I grabbed her. And I was like, no, come on, like get in the front. What are you doing? Because she wouldn't have been in the picture.
Yeah.
And they take a picture of us, and that's it. And then he goes, and we go into the ride, and we're on the ride still. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, that's so
And like,
cool.
I can't believe that just happened. And it was just such a crazy, crazy experience. And so right after that, I get out and I text Andy. I text my wife and I'm like, Pedro. And again, like you got to remember, like we're under NDA, right? Like we couldn't talk about the ride,
Right.
couldn't talk about anything because again, we were the first to ride that Falcon ride. But I was like, I gotta tell my wife, and like I text her and I'm just like, dude, like Pedro here. I mean, I think I even have she sent me the text message because again, a lot of people online were like, oh, like it was staged and it was planned or whatever. And he was like, dude, just show him this picture. Like, how would it be planned? Like you didn't even know because you were immediately.
There was like hundreds of thousands, a million. Like that got a lot of. How many views did that get?
Oh yeah, a million. It went super viral. So yeah, so I was like, Pedro in the Mando costume. And she's like, shut up, you're real. Dude, I'm like, I'm shook. I'll tell you in a little while. They interviewed us about the experience, the ride.
Yeah, that was a great story.
And I was like, dude, he's wearing the suit. You know, he was inside the Falcon, right in front of me. Like, I was panicking, dude. Like, honestly, like that was one of the craziest experiences that I've ever had. Like in my life, I've never been that shocked because we didn't expect that. Like, it was like zero expectation that
That's
would
good, good story, good details. I like him.
It was crazy. And then as we're like getting in the ride, we see him kind of go in the back. And anyways, there's another part of this whole story that a lot of people won't know and like don't realize, but there was supposed to be a different surprise, right? It was supposed to be Sigourney Weaver, Pedro Pascal, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau that were going to meet us in the front and like, you know, and surprise the first writers. And it changed because Pedro was like, wait, we're not going to surprise them in the costume. And they're like, oh, like if you want to, but like, what costume? He's like, I'll make a phone call. So that costume that he was in was the screen used costume. He's the one who called for it. He's the one who brought it in. So it was his idea to do that. So it wasn't actually like, that wasn't supposed to be what happened. Like I said, it was supposed to be all four of them because they were there and they did surprise fans after. So afterwards there was, they had them all come out when everyone was waiting. Here, I mean,
That's really cool.
I'll show you. This was my side where I could see. So they brought them all out and surprised all the fans. They surprised all the fans by the Falcon, all of them. And they're like interacting with the fans all right there. So they were there. They absolutely surprised the fans. Now, you see like them right there. And they're like, and so like the fans were like freaking out all about it, right?
That's cool.
But I think what ended up happening, and this is kind of where people like were like, oh, like the controversy, right?
Yeah, there was a lot. It's crazy.
Here's
jealousy. That's all it is. If there's jealousy.
And here's the reason, right? When Star Wars posted the pictures of that event, well, at least this is what I think. The caption says, Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu, Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau surprised fans in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Star Wars, right? But the cover picture is us, right? That's our experience. But if you flip through them, you'll actually see them with all of the fans in front of the Falcon. But they used ours as the cover. So I think that's where a lot of people were like, wait, they surprised fans. They make it seem like they're just like regular fans. They're not fans. They're influencers. Yeah. And that's where it got into this weird like conversation about us not being fans, which was the craziest thing. In fact, it's the complete opposite. the people that you actually see, which are only like what 4 of us in there, the rest of them, I have no idea who they were,
Right.
but at least the like 4 or 5 that were there, we're like crazy fans, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we're just like normal, everyday fans, right? Like, look at this freaking
Yeah.
room, right? Like,
You don't do it for the money. Yeah.
right, exactly. And the
Yeah.
other guys that were there, they dedicate their whole, lives around creating content, Star Wars. Every day they're posting 4, 5, 6 posts a day, right? So these guys are like crazy Star Wars fans, right?
And those are the ones that are probably only like that are getting pissed off saying stuff. They're fans for like 3 years now. You know what I mean? That's what sucks.
Right. And that's where the conversation came out. And this is what sucked, honestly, and for me, and I want to give you kind of like my take. All right. So that day I was on cloud 9, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I cannot believe the last 2 days that I've had. Like, I got to go to the event, and again, you got to remember, it wasn't just like the influencers, the big influencers.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people were invited to that.
Yeah.
But again, I get it. A lot of people are like, oh, it's the same people that we see over and over and over again. Well, it's probably because you follow us, and probably because we have a big following, so the algorithm pushes our content into your feeds versus some of the smaller accounts, right, that you might not get, right? Like I said, dude, Sean, our buddy Sean, was at the Darth Maul red carpet premiere with his wife, right? She has a great community of like, Star Wars friends, and she's been making great content, and she got to go. But I don't think anybody would like say, oh, like they're not real fans, they don't deserve to go. It's like, no, dude, like, we're all fans, and we just happen to catch the eyes of Lucasfilm, right? And again, once they know you, they're gonna know that you're gonna appreciate some of these experiences, right? Like me, like going to the props, they knew that, hey, like Gabe would appreciate that. I was the only collector there. So, but they knew, they're like, you know what? Gabe would appreciate that because he's into this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's the fact that in the comments, right, of that Pedro Pascal event, where all of a sudden they're like, oh, like, it's the same people going to these events, and oh, like, they're not true fans, they're influencers, and even friends. And that was the hardest part, Michael, to tell you the truth. That took me from like being on cloud 9 the night before, because remember, I didn't get home till like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it was exciting.
After that, and I woke up around 7 looking at all these like negative things, and including messages from our like posts and things from our friends, even our friends in the collecting community, where they're like, oh, they're paid, it was staged, it was fake. And I'm reading this like, holy shit. And I can't say anything because I'm under NDA, so I can't post in the comments, like, try to defend it. But dude, like, me and you talked about it the next day.
Yeah.
And you asked me, like, was it staged? Like, did you?
Yeah, because I didn't. I was like,
Yeah. And that's fine. A lot of my friends did that, and a lot of like, and I appreciated that, because a lot of like my close friends, like you, Lee, we
would have known that, hey, because we thought, but you were like, no, dude, that was a surprise. And
and I told you,
it all comes from jealousy.
I told you exactly what I'm telling everyone here. It's like, we were there to ride the Millennium Falcon. We did not know that was going to happen, right? And again, I don't think there was anything misleading about the post, right? Because then if you look at the post, it says, Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver, Dave Filoni surprised fans at Disneyland. They did. They were outside in front of the Falcon.
Yeah.
Again, they just put our picture as the leading picture. If they would have put the Pedro on with all of them, maybe that would have been a little bit different. But all of a sudden it was like, oh, the influencers are the only ones that get to go. Dude, that girl that's in front, the one that's like, that I grabbed and I put her in front, I was like, come on, get him in front.
Yeah.
She gets invited to things. She's a cosplayer, and she makes great Star Wars content, very like wholesome, cosplaying one. In fact, she was featured at Star Wars Celebration. She was one of the Mandos that was like Moana Mandos. If you guys remember her, she was in a lot of the pictures for
she's
Star Wars Celebration and D23. Anyways, she, she doesn't have like crazy amounts of followers. So maybe less than 5,000, right? So the fact that like, people were like, oh, those are all like influencers, like they don't, whatever, deserve to be. They're not real fans. Dude, like I don't care. You know me. Like I've taken shit for the last 10 years about Disney shill and all that nonsense. I'm like, it's such a stupid thing because any of us would absolutely have said yes to go to any of them.
That's what I was going to say next. Is there's
not some of the people that were talking shit online that are our friends that could have just literally shot me a message or a text and be like, hey Gabe, I'm gonna talk about this, or I'm gonna post about this. Tell me, like, let me know.
They said shit.
But instead they go and they post whatever they think happened, right? Oh, like they were paid to be there. Oh, like we just kind of see the same people, and it's unfair for them to, not spread the wealth. And it's like, dude, if you were there at the red carpet premiere for Mando for Darth Maul, you'd be eating those words because there were so many fans there. There's all different sizes, all different, backgrounds. It wasn't just like the big, like, influencers, right? There was across the board. There's so many fans.
Well, I'm sorry that happened, dude. I'm sorry.
And that's what sucks is that the next day, dude, I did get like super bummed out because I was like, not because of like the public perception. I didn't care about that. It was the fact that some of our friends, instead of just reaching out and being like, hey Gabe, like, was that real? Was that staged? Like, tell me about it. They went and they started posting on their own to get clicks, to get likes, to, it's that drama that sometimes that Star Wars drama brings in viewers, right? Or like just trying to get their name out there, trying to put out their opinion. But in my mind, I'm like, they look so stupid and just so ignorant. Yeah. And they could have just asked me. I was there. Like, I was the one who it happened to. And we're friends. And all you had to do is just shoot me a message and be like, hey, Gabe, were you paid to be there?
Yeah.
Right? No, of course not. Was it a surprise? Absolutely. Did you know it's going to happen? No, I would never in my wildest dreams would have expected that. So that's what was bummed out. That's what bummed me out. And even just this last week, I'll still scroll through sometimes and some of those posts will come up and I'll still see some people that we know.
Hey, listen, Gabe.
And
so
I'm like,
forget about it.
And before I even you know what I've been doing, Michael? Because again, that it just sucks that they wouldn't just reach out before making any stupid little comment or any little post about it, right? Or just having that conversation without even just having the respect of just reaching out to me and asking me about it. So to be honest, I just been blocking all those fools. Anyone that said anything negative about that experience. And again, not for anything, but it's more for the like disrespect of not coming to me and asking me about it before going in and trying to make a big drama deal about it, right? So yeah, I've been just blocking everybody. I'm like, fuck you. We talked about that, right, Michael? Remember how me and you, we got on the phone and I was like, remember when those shitbags like talk shit about like your restaurant and you're like, I'm gonna fucking do this.
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's what I was gonna tell you, Gabe. Just it's not worth it, because and especially when you have the following, you're gonna get that. No matter how good, like our restaurant, we've been very blessed the 2 years that we've been there, and you're gonna get those people that no matter what, they're not gonna be happy. You know what I mean? And those aren't the people I built this place for. You know what I mean? So yeah. But who gives a shit about those people, Gabe? Just let's keep on rolling. You know what I mean?
And that's the only thing. I just wanted to like bring that up because again, look, I think it's also, fair for some of our friends, right, that didn't reach out, but also didn't comment anything negative. Yeah. Like to know that, dude, like honestly, that was probably one of the greatest experiences of my life, like as far as like surprises and like in the Star Wars community.
Yeah.
And I just want them to know that, like, you know, those little comments, like they did hurt because they're friends and because they didn't reach out. But you know,
sometimes you gotta know that the people that, you know, those people that you think they're your friends, you gotta, you know, you realize. But moving on, I was going to ask you, and so now we got something that's really exciting coming up soon, which again, I think a lot of the OG people, and you're lucky because you're in California, Janine. I know a lot of Armando and them, but the George Lucas Museum.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited, and that's coming up in September.
Yes. So, Gabe, I want to say thank you for reaching out to me about, you know, what is that called? They have different levels.
The tiers, yeah,
different tiers. And I think it makes more sense if you're local to be like on the top tier. In other words, the more money you spend, basically, you get more perks of being in the museum. And is that correct? Is that a good way to say it, you think?
Yeah. It's almost like a season pass, right?
Yeah. And considering that I'm not right down the road, but I think anyone in California in the month of September, when that has the opening, I know I'm going to be there. I can guarantee Gabe will be there. But I would love that to be the opportunity where I get to see a lot of people instead of having to wait a whole year to see everybody. But
yeah,
I'd like to do actually one thing that I'd like to do. I don't know. We didn't talk about it. I'm not going to go into it much, but you know, on this show is where I mentioned that I was going to open up this pizzeria place, and it was going to be called Dark Side Pizza. And now we literally have people from, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but we got people from all over, for sure, the United States that fly in to eat at Dark Side. And that's why we're consistently coming up with new props. I don't know if a lot of people, if y'all don't follow me on Dark Side Pizza, we're creating a life-size hovering DeLorean. So this thing has been, we bought it from the Jesse James at the Monster Garage, and they beat the hell out of this DeLorean, and we refurbished the DeLorean, new fenders, and it's all stainless. And I went to Florida, drove all the time machine parts back like we did on the first one, but this is the full car, and it's going to be on a pole 16 feet in the air. And roads, where we're going, we don't need roads.
I only have older pictures, Michael.
Yeah.
But if you have updated ones, you could send them to me. But
so it'll be done within the next 2 months. Yeah, there you go. That's good. That's before all the bracketry and everything was being done, but all the dents, some of the dings and stuff. But yeah, it's come a long way since that picture. Yeah. But what I was going to say to you guys, I would love to have. So we open up Dark Side After Dark, and that's our new. If you guys are on Instagram, just look up Dark Side After Dark. It's a full bar Predator themed lounge. It's got a 18-foot tall tree and a life-size Huey Bell helicopter crashed in it. We actually had the Predator from Prey show up. Nice. You know, he played the character, and it's just been, you know, our drinks, our Predator thing. But I would love to have an event, kind of like we do our red carpet, you know, dinner with the stars events, where we could plan ahead and get a lot of people, you know, coming, you know, and hanging out with us. Well, what's up, Jens? I remember you.
Yeah, there's Jens.
Yeah. You know, congratulations on your Galactic Grind coffee.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to toot my horn on him because he was kind of like a project. I say respectfully. He's like my little brother now. But, you know, knowing that, you know, we found Jens through Collection Wars and talking about, you know, the big Jabba the Hutt thing. And I commissioned with him on this show. And he now lives, you know, 20 minutes from me. Yeah. You know, he's raising his family here in Texas, and he's got his own coffee place. So there's a lot of really good things that have happened in this community through Collection Wars. And I'm so proud of that. And
one of my best Star Wars memories is the grand opening of your restaurant.
Oh,
that's still one of the best, just because all our friends were there.
Yes.
So you're surprised, right?
I love when you've done it to me twice.
like, we're not gonna be there. I'm not gonna be there, Mike. Like,
Yeah, that was a great deal. Yeah,
showing
that meant a lot. That meant a whole lot.
and
But
just
knowing,
and especially like in the collection wars, like seeing the progress like throughout the years, and then all of us just being there for that grand opening was just like,
yes,
it was so great.
and we have been able to collect so many archival moments of so many incredible artists through the show. And I want to just say thank you to everybody who I know reached out to Gabe and for sure reached out to me, telling us, how much you guys miss Collection Wars. And it hits the heart. And we, Gabe and I miss it too. And it was a really good feeling when Gabe reached out to me. I was on the plane on Sunday and said, "Hey, let's get back on the show." And then, here we are, man. Just it's good to see you, brother, again,
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Like I said, it's look, again, we both got, we get busy with things, and there's obviously, with the restaurant and I'm working, doing all this other stuff, and like, to be able to slow down and be like, all right, let's just like, let's kind of go back. Let's chill and like let's go back and hang out, and because it is about the community, right? And at the end of the day, like that's what it's about. Yeah, we all love collecting. We all love Star Wars stuff. And
we were doing Collection Wars for a long time, every Saturday on a Saturday night. Yep. And I want to thank a lot of you guys. I mean, Saturday night it was pizza and beer, and it was just Collection Wars, and a lot of people will watch tomorrow. They would watch the next day, and we would like quadruple. But after a while, it takes up time, and I can only imagine, Gabe, and I'm being real right now, and I don't want to get back into that, but I don't want to say the word influencer, but I will say that you do put a lot of time creating content, and it's what you've always been really good at, better than anybody I know. And you cost me a lot of money because I got to go and buy this shit after you post it. But the bottom line is after a while, you got to get back to yourself, right, Gabe? And because there becomes like what you were talking about earlier, people forget about what Star Wars is about and what it was originally built for. And some of these new people that have come in, it's just over the top, and you start losing that focus on why you even fucking collect Star Wars, or why you like, there's a lot of people in our chat that don't have, $1,000 in Star Wars. Who gives a shit? It's what Star Wars has always done for you in the soul, and to have to deal with other bullshit, No, but yeah.
I'm gonna send it to him. I'm gonna make sure that Crocs reaches out to Michael.
Oh man, that's a good idea. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm not a Croc. I don't wear Crocs though.
I'm wearing Crocs as we speak. Right
now. I believe it.
Just dude, they're comfy like house shoes. I love them, man. But
and hey,
I used to hate them, and then my sister got me these pairs for like Christmas, and I was just like, man, because they have these like little bumps like on the bottom, so like it's like a massage when you walk. I'm like, dude, I love them. But yeah, no, absolutely. You're right. And I think that's one of those things too, that I especially after like the last couple months that I've had, like, again, with just all of the events and all that stuff, you kind of go back and think about it. Like it's all a great personal experience, right? Because again, I'm experiencing it in firsthand, but what's even better is when I think about it, it's like when I want to tell people, I want my friends to like experience it with me and be like, let me tell you what just happened. Like in that kind of deal, I miss that, right? Because again, sometimes we'll go to these and sure, I'll post like a little video or something and that's it. And then I kind of move on to the next thing, and having Collection Wars allows us almost like therapy, right? Like allows us to be able to talk it out and let me tell you about this experience. Let me tell you about this collectible. Let me tell you about this thing that's happening, and have the dialogue and like actually interact with people, as opposed to just like, again, for me and like my account, sometimes it is just about like, let me create something. Let me put out some content. let's put it out for, for whatever, educational purposes, for marketing, for whatever. But at the same time, like, I miss just being able to talk to our friends, right? And just being able to be there,
Yeah, there's so many things that have changed in the community, a lot of things, but all our old friends are still there, and I'd like the whole gang to be back together and us meet up somewhere. I just I miss it. It's good times. But I'll tell you what, hopping on tonight and hanging out with all you guys, Gabe, has been a really good thing, and we'll keep these things going, Gabe.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man.
So.
And so speaking of, now obviously we got all the like events and all that stuff out of the way. Well, what about collections? Like, how's your collection been doing?
Man, so yeah, right. And thanks for the question, but I'll tell you, I haven't been doing a whole lot lately. I have bought, a few things. Again, like, you cost me money through a lot of the EFX stuff. I'm like, shit, I got the Darth Vader McCrory helmet. I got to get that one, and then the Darth Vader thing, and then I'm like, shit. But it's been a while that I can think of. I have got into a lot, and it's a really expensive rabbit hole. Is the graded Star Wars action figures, and I love those things. And I was considering, should I have sent my original ones, and everybody was all like, no, don't do that. Pete was like, no, because if they were to lose your stuff, or those aren't the real figures, because my original action figures are like my number one grail piece in my collection, because those were, when I was a kid, my mom got them and stuff. But the grading stuff has been fun, and I've been, don't laugh, guys. Janine, I know some of y'all will respect this, but y'all know how Denise is a big Barbie collector. So we just flew to Baltimore on Sunday. I've been looking for this 6-foot life-size Barbie for years, and I was looking up on eBay. It said, I typed in like, store display, Barbie store displays or whatever, and it popped up. Guy wanted $25,000 for it, or best offer. Did not pay anywhere close to that, but I was able to pick it up and another number one Barbie for her. So we made a little road trip, stopped to see Elvis. We stopped to see, the Dukes of Hazzard. Dude, Cooter had, we were out in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Yeah.
There was a Dukes of Hazzard museum, and that was
that's cool.
Dude, and he's still alive. Cooter's still around, and we missed him a couple of days. He was there. He lives like 40 minutes away from his place. He apparently has 2 places, but seeing they have an old like couch and like TV stand and an old TV in there, like it's like the 80s living room.
Wow.
And Dukes of Hazzard's playing, and it was just seeing that set up, and he recreated Cooter's place where they have a couple of the original, General Lee and some of the stuff in there. That was fun. Seeing Loretta Lynn's place going by. Have you ever been to Graceland?
I haven't, no.
Oh my gosh, dude. So we were driving back. So we kind of wanted to get back by a certain time. But we went early in the morning at 7:30 in the morning just to see the outside of the gates, Well, when we were there at 7:30, the gates opened. And there was like 4 people like taking pictures and they had flowers. And they said, y'all are welcome to come up real quick. And I'm like, what? Because usually they're tourists and shit. So they let us walk up the drive, and the people were doing the yard work and stuff. And me and Denise are like, holy shit, So we're walking up, and we got to go over, for those of you that have visited know what I'm talking about, where Elvis is buried with his family is over to the right. And I was able to walk over and stand above Elvis Presley's gravesite. And his mom and dad and his grandma, and then of course his beautiful Lisa Marie that passed away not too long ago, was buried with her son over there. But what was crazy is there's in a pretty shoot 'em up side of town, and where he's buried and stuff, there's like fence line because there's a neighborhood over there, and there's like houses. So there's somebody on their back porch that's barbecuing. And not 45 feet on the other side of that fence is Elvis. I mean, it's crazy shit. If you guys know what I'm talking, I mean, I'd like buy that house and you could bury. I'm not kind of, me. some crazy shit. But it's just like I can't believe those houses are this close.
Yeah.
It was like Loretta Lynn. You know, she passed away a while back, and her house where it is, she's on 1,000 acres, and behind it, she's up on a hill. You know, where nobody. But over here, there's like it's crazy. But to feel that feeling of Elvis, and you know what I mean. But when it comes to the collecting thing, we've been putting a lot of new stuff in Dark Side. We just finished a Twiggy from Buck Rogers, a life-size Twiggy that my friend Eric did. But you know, just those kind of things, you know. But it's been a little bit when my wife, it's me spare house in the '90s. Used to hang out there. Oh my gosh,
that's crazy, right? Yeah.
And that girl she was so beautiful, and it's so sad what happened to her because it's like that's the last thing Elvis would have wanted for his little baby daughter, you know, to feel the pressure. I think a lot of it had to do with her son committing suicide. She has right now 2 beautiful daughters that have had to take over, and you know, it's just crazy. That's a cool story. It's a cool story.
Yeah, no, I remember you were texting me about that when we were like, hey, let's jump on and do a show. You're like, like I just landed. We're gonna take a little road trip.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? I'd love to. But finding that Barbie, the life size was a good time. You know, I think I wanted it more than Denise. Mm-hmm. But we've been finding out a lot of things, and we're getting in touch with Mattel about it. But suppose they only made like 6 or 7 of them for back in '89 for the 30th anniversary of Barbie back then, you know. But Barbie's now almost getting ready to be 60 years old. Isn't that unbelievable? 60 years of Barbie, you know, and you know, Denise is doing a couple little things, you know. I got to hold her gunpoint. Okay, do the video. She's like, I don't want to do it. And then when she does it, she's like having fun, you know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like honestly, like her collection, it's kind of like what Collection Wars it's about. Like it's about showcasing their love for the collection and and especially like a well put together collection. And again, she definitely has probably the #1 Barbie collection. I mean, truly, not just the items, but like the way it's displayed. Like you guys did such a great job.
She would appreciate
it. You have a great eye for that kind of stuff. But like, you know, I've seen it in person, and I'm sure it's grown since, right? I mean, it's starting to be kind of like hoarder. I'm like, it's starting to get where it's like it doesn't matter if it's in a 12-foot room or this big ass gallery. But always,
it's like, I mean, it's like, babe, when are you going to have everything? You know what I mean? It's like, God damn. But and I'm talking about just I know.
Yeah, you have no room to talk. Come on, none of us. I don't think any of us have any room to talk.
I know.
I mean, I just built this place, and there's
and by the way, Gabe,
there's already
that's hilarious
on the floor. Like
that's funny.
There's never going to be enough.
And by the way, that room and you building all that, I remember talking back and forth on how you were building the shelves. I was giving you my 2 cents.
You helped me out a lot because we had that one conversation about making sure that there's, because remember I sent you like the boards, and I was like, this is how I'm like doing the shelves, and you're like, no, make sure that they're secure, make sure you're strapping, like making sure that they don't sag down. And so I actually, after our conversation, I ripped it.
You had to go do all that.
Ripped apart the whole, like at least the drywall part, and I had to redo all those things. It added like another like month to the project, but I'm glad I did because you're absolutely right. They would have started sagging.
Yeah, it would have sucked. Can you imagine it being the way it looks now and starting to see all that, knowing you had to destroy?
I couldn't even imagine because if it started sagging right now, like I don't even know, but I would probably rip it down. It'd be like when you remember the feeling when that bad boy fell off.
Oh man, yes,
I'm just quitting. Like I'm just not.
Okay, I'm done.
That's how I would feel if this thing. I'd be like, I'm done. I put so much forget it.
Yeah, that's for sure. But it's just, you know, the fact that you built all that yourself is not, you didn't bring in a bunch of carpenters and shit. That's pretty badass.
Yeah. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of help from a lot of you guys, like just giving me just like your opinions and like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think even you, like for certain things, you're like, you see, like right there, like that middle part, like make sure you put something in between them.
I do remember that. Yeah, that's cool. And I'm going to redo over there where I got my, I moved Chewy over to the house, and just because I'm not in the upstairs gallery too often, and it's my wife's favorite piece. I love that thing, and it's just sitting in the dark all the time, and it's we talk, that's a broken record about when is enough kind of thing, but we have purchased other properties next to Dark Side where we have the big parking lot, and we have an area where make sure Denise isn't around now, but where we're looking at the possibility of building a museum to where all of this stuff will eventually go.
Nice.
Because there is going to be a time where a lot of this is going to have to go, and I know we're almost 2 hours in, but one thing I do, since I'm looking at these models, we could maybe mention Wonderfest for a second.
Yeah.
But I was going to just say, it's crazy, a lot of the modeling community, and I don't know if Gabe, if you knew this, but our friend Sean Sides recently sold his 5-foot scratch-built Falcon, all found parts. Did you know that?
No. Oh, I did. An auction, right?
Yes, at the auction. Went for $300K. So 250. Well, me and him talked before it went to auction. He called me the day after the bid went through. He called me. And I wish I could have purchased it. Timing wasn't right, and I wouldn't have been able to pay that much for it. But the fact that there's so much 3D printing going on right now, and I've said this before, nothing wrong with 3D printing, but the fact that he scratch built that, and then if all of a sudden you're going to start seeing maybe 10 5-foot Falcons out there when there's only a handful of them that are actually built the right, when I say the right way, the way it was originally built. A lot of people don't give a shit if it's a 3D printed one, just as long as it looks cool. I'm almost that way. Of course, 98% of everything in here is scratch built pieces. They're not, whether it was a kid or a scratch.
But that's also like a part of like you see, and that's the thing. Every collector is going to be different, right? Like some people are gonna, they don't care if there's 3D prints, but like for you, like part of like the aesthetic that you like, that's the true, like it's like you're an originalist, like you want to make sure that everything, that's what makes your collection great about that, right? Everyone different. Some might not care, but the fact that you like the fact that it's like real parts, real found model kits, like that art is dying out.
Yeah, it is.
So the fact that you're keeping it alive in your own way, I mean, that's a huge benefit.
And I think that's why I brought it up, the 3D thing, just so you know. Because I've got a lot, Jason Eaton, everybody knows the modeler Jason Eaton, all his stuff, mostly it's 3D print. But what I was going to say is, I think that was the decision why Sean decided this would be a good time to go ahead and sell it. You know what I mean? So what I think is on his mind is that, let's just say if there's 3 or 4, if it's going to be a lot easier to get a 5-foot Falcon, it's less likely going to go for $300,000. Yeah, it's going to drop. Yeah. So, I don't know for sure, but we do have I have the property staged out where we would build a really amazing gallery that would absolutely have the Star Wars stuff, a lot of important pieces in my collection, a lot of important pieces from Denise's collection that comes to the super old nostalgia things that where it all started, Barbie, you know what I mean? But the thing is, everything 80s, and just to keep people coming and keep the stuff alive, kind of like Kurt Kuhn.
And just have another thing, like you go experience the restaurant, and then you have something that you can go and spend some more time there, and then waiting for the after dark, and then you could spend a whole day on your property.
It is an experience, and sometimes it's a pain in the ass because that's the double-edged sword that you want the customers in there, but you don't want them camping out all damn day because you want to turn and burn the tables to get other people in there.
Yeah.
But to know, you've been to my place. It's absolutely a destination spot. You don't drive by and say, "Oh, Darkside Pizza, let's roll in there."
No.
So you got to know it's there and want to go.
Yep.
And it's scary for Denise and I, but tonight I bailed out of there and there was probably realistically 45, 50 people outside waiting to get sacked.
Yeah.
And we closed in an hour and a half. You know what I mean? So it's a lot, but it's just the stories that we get to hear from all of the customers and seeing them, get emotional about what it is that we've done. It's just it's a great feeling. I never in a million years knew that we would create something so special,
Yeah.
Hearing the stories of loved ones that have passed away. And, I remember seeing this movie and I had that toy over there. It's awesome.
I'm telling you, dude, those toys they really do. Like the toys really do connect us in like weird, like nostalgic way. And I think it's going to
way
be
more than this stuff. And this is badass,
100%. Oh yeah, no, the toys that's like the show is called like the toys that made us.
Yeah, and we all have them. We all have them.
And it's like something about it. Like we just watched the He-Man movie again today.
Did you see again?
Yeah, because I got to go to the premiere, so I got to go with the actors. And,
Oh man, stay tuned.
I didn't make a big post.
Oh, that's hilarious.
The like negative, like nonsense that was going on, that I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm not even gonna make a post about it. But I get involved.
I think you should have.
I should have, but yeah,
dude, pretty soon you're gonna be hitting every premiere. I don't care. Man, can you imagine going to Steven Spielberg's premiere?
Dude, I saw a bunch of them got invited for that too, and I was like,
"What the hell, dude?"
Got to ask Steven Spielberg, but see, again, those are different types of content creators, right? Those are focusing on movies, like specifically movies, not necessarily Star Wars collectibles. You
think you think because like Disclosure, it's like UFOs and stuff. You think it like if I had a show based on whether the moon landing ever happened. Yeah, I mean, if you know, okay.
So they're gonna be like, this guy doesn't believe it happened.
Never happened. But anyways, let's keep moving.
But yeah, no, I got to go to the premiere. I was there with the actors, and got to see like the original actor that was there. What's his name? The one from the original movie that was also
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, Lundgren. Yeah. He was there.
The Russian.
The Rush,
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. He was there, and it was a cool experience. And I loved the movie. I loved it. It was funny. All the toys were referenced, right? Like all the ones we like Fisto and like Moss Man and like all of them. And they did a really good job at like making them into live action. It's super funny. It's almost like the only movie I could compare it to is Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like comedic, it's like funny, but it's also action. And the soundtrack is awesome. It's all a bunch of songs from the 80s. And like the soundtrack, man, I'm telling you, great soundtrack throughout the whole thing. And it's a super fun movie. My kids loved it, but it was that connection to the toys, right?
Yes.
Watching it and be like, oh man, like I remember I had that toy and I played with them, and like, man, that's so cool to be able to see that. But yeah, those toys, man, when you were a kid, were you into He-Man at all, honestly? Yeah, that was my big, that was my time.
So it was after me. I had at the time the Star Wars figures, of course, the 3/3. I had the both with the big G.I. Joes, but those I just never. But recently, before I even knew they were making a movie, I bought the Castle Grayskull. I even bought it for my buddy Lee. Yeah, because it was his childhood. I bought him one. But if you go in there, I've got the Castle Grayskull, and it's great. Actually, some people, they'll see something, they'll be like, "Hey, I got it," and they'll bring it for Darkside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, I just got to chime in real quick. Armando has said, "Bring back Jordu Shell to Collection Wars." I got to just tell you, Armando, the people that are in our chat, you either know or you don't know. But if you know, you know. Jordu Shell. So Gabe and I were talking today, and I said, "Hey, Gabe, since it's been a while, we need to bring up some funny stuff. You really got me good on the starting of the Falcon. That's always been super funny. We also need to have the time that that you got roasted about Yoda, and that was probably I have never in my whole entire life to this day probably laughed so hard about Gabe getting roasted by Jordu Shell. That was hilarious. And in the near future, we'll bring that back, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, that's funny. I know Pete keeps in touch with that guy.
Yeah, I guess it was his birthday.
That was some funny shit because
Yeah.
when he found out Gabe did not like, he didn't even know. By the way, when we brought him on, he's an artist and does a lot of amazing stuff. Didn't know, but Gabe had told him that he didn't like Yoda. And
I think we were talking about something about the
he
original.
was like, wait a minute, what you don't like? And he's like, you're probably one of the ones that cheered when the towers collapsed. I mean, dude, everything he said was so fucking funny, dude. I swear to God, it just couldn't. It goes with that guy. Remember the little dog when he was meeting all the Star Wars guys about the Virgin? It was along that line of funny. Dude.
When I said that, I was like, you know what? I'm not a big Yoda fan. Oh, he went off. He's like,
oh man, dude.
He just like started like clowning on me nonstop. And tell you the truth, I'm still not a big Yoda fan. But
okay, but hey, just because of that, our next show we need to do a small little segment for our OGs because that is something that has to happen. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, called me a terrorist. Oh yeah. He was on it, man, and he didn't let it go for like.
Oh yeah, he did call him a terrorist. That was.
He kept on going and going, and then at the end, I was like, "All right, yeah, well, I'm also not a big Chewie fan." Yeah.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
That's funny, dude. That was a good time. Man. That was probably one of, when it comes to a funny, it was definitely the funniest episode. But we've had some real serious, like Don Post and, golly, Don Bees and
Don Bees. That one was one of my favorites.
Oh man, so many of them. Thatcher, we've had Thatcher on. We've had, respect
that one too.
Yeah, I mean Don Post. There's just some really good. But anyways, buddy, that was just some fun stuff.
Yeah, man.
Anywho.
But yeah, we definitely got to have. We'll have to bring some people on and just get them on and talk about collectibles and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
And
now Gabe, being friends with Lucas and all the other guys, right. We might be able to get some. It's your turn to start bringing these big guy and others on.
What's funny is that so after the Pedro Pascal, helmet thing, like I was like telling my wife, I was like, dude, like honestly, like nothing can top that. Like there's nothing that could top that. I was like, well, I mean, unless it was like George Lucas. Well, I guess if Harrison Ford was, I was like, well, no, Mark Hamill. And she's like, stop saying everything that would be better than that. I'm like, but honestly, besides those three, like nothing could have topped that surprise. But imagine, George, imagine if he's gonna be there at the opening of the museum.
Oh, man.
That's gonna be.
Yeah, seeing him, man, it's just like, damn. Remember at the celebration, he was like, I was talking to Andy Gutierrez, and they all started scrambling, and George Lucas and Harrison Ford were right in front of me. It was like, you guys that know me know how hard it was for me not to jump on the stage. But seriously, there's some fun stuff. But I know we're getting late in here. Yeah, the flute.
Yeah.
But anyways.
But all right, yeah, man. Well, this was fun. Yeah.
Yes.
And we definitely gotta do it. We gotta jump on. Gotta invite some of our buddies on there. We're gonna show the Wonderfest pictures. We can a little.
Yeah, let's take 5 minutes. Let's take 5 minutes because
I got about 10% of my bed.
I know Benjamin was there with his lovely wife, Robin.
Here, I'm gonna scroll through some of these pictures because Joseph sent me.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I haven't even seen a lot of them. I will tell you guys, if y'all haven't seen some of the photos, they recreated ILM room. Oh, there's.
Yeah, let me see if I can find those really quick. So that looks like it's the
There's Mike Salzo.
2001, right?
Yeah.
Like the.
Say right there. So that right there, of course, is Joseph.
Yeah.
And that's Mike Salzo. So Mike right there has built a whole fleet of a lot of these ships. Yeah, that's a lot of them right there.
Look at that picture.
Yeah.
That's great.
Robin, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a lot of people right there.
Yeah.
A lot of talent right there.
Let me go backwards. Let's see. I think I went
Stephanie.
I went the wrong way. There's Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt. I didn't know Kurt Thatcher was there this year. Was he there? I guess, huh? There's Chris and Joseph. Yeah.
So and again, I'm gonna scroll through these really fast.
Okay, yeah. Okay, real quick. Let's see a different room look. So, if you know what they did, they recreated. This is the wrong view of the room, but
yeah, I'm sure there's a better view.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one right there. So they recreated the ILM from the original Star Wars when they were creating those models.
Yeah, there's Trent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scroll through it because I bet you there's a better one. Yeah, that's a good one right there too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's badass how they did that. I mean, they set up the 2x4s. I saw Benjamin helping them in there. They just were doing everything.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to Sausage Fest before. I mean, I'm Wonder Fest before. There was actually like 3 or 4 women there, I think, this year.
Used to 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm not kidding, dude. Look, Stephanie, she's so beautiful. She was role playing. That was awesome.
My God, and that's
Robin captured some great pics too.
Yeah, and for a lot of people that don't know, so
dude, I haven't seen that one. Can you go back one click? Oh, look at that. Wonder how big that is. Huh.
I mean, I could kind of based on that plug, it's probably what 20.
Oh yeah.
30.
If you don't know, that's from the black hole.
That's cool.
Badass.
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know, so Wonderfest is a convention show that it's started really small, right? I mean, it's still relatively small, but it's growing and growing. I think Joseph was over 1,200 submissions this year.
Oh, look at that. That's freaking cool.
And it's just a bunch of model makers that get together and showcase their work and their models every year. And there's so much work. And just recently, the guys from Tested have been going out, right? Or I mean, the last few years, right?
Yeah, they've gone for actually quite a while.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they've gone for probably good since the show started, actually.
Yeah. And again, there's such great work all around. Look at that. Jeez.
Yeah, Van Nuys, the 77 Van Nuys room. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. That's insane amount of detail. I scroll a little bit faster through these because a lot of these are Star Trek. Just kidding.
I like that. Hey, yeah, and if y'all like it, y'all can just go back. Dude, I was gonna do that with the moon. Yeah, I was gonna do that. Yeah. Those are cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Oh, and it's Optimus Prime. That's cool.
That's a good eye, Gabe. I missed that. You're right.
And again, I'm going through these pretty quick, but and if my computer dies, I'll jump back onto my phone to end the show. But
very, very cool.
Look at that. That's cool. It was like the IKEA lamps.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Y-wing. There was one that Joseph sent me pictures of, and it's like Chris did it. It's like the Macquarie sail barge.
Yeah, fantastic. And he did the little vintage figures. Yeah, that was he's been working on that for over a year. He did a great job on it.
And I apologize, guys, that I'm scrolling super fast, but I'm telling you, there's like 630 pictures that Joseph sent.
Jesus.
So I'm like, I wanted to pick some of the highlights, but
that's badass.
I didn't get a chance to go through all of them. But some of them are so tiny, and the fact that there's so much detail in there is Just wild. Look at that.
Looks like the 4 foot.
Yeah.
I've got that one.
Uh,
Chris made one.
the concept one.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Ooh, that one's cool looking. Yeah, that's badass.
All right. I think we're about halfway there. Here, let me see if I can pull back and we'll just,
There you go.
I want to see some of these. There's dinosaurs. There's a bunch of robots. There's a bunch of busts. I hadn't seen busts there before.
Ooh, that's cool. The Planet of the Apes. I wonder. Yeah, you can guarantee that Joseph, he likes those sexy little ornamental. Dude, that's pretty. That's neat. Go. Oh, you didn't want to. Whoa. So, yeah,
Elvira,
yeah,
right? Is that Elvira?
yeah. It is.
It's like
Good
her.
job. I used to watch her show all the time.
Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Son, why is the door locked? Huh? Oh, hang on, Mom. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's neat. I have that one of those too. That's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
did you get one, Bill?
Yeah, I got. Yeah, Mike Salzo built it for me.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, dude.
I want to bring up. Oh, here's the main pictures. I think.
Yeah, Bill George right there.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, that on the far right, that's Bill George. He came in with a Y-wing that he built from scratch, and he got the job and got to work on Return of the Jedi, and the rest is history.
Yeah. A lot of these are
Oh, they had a Cylon there. That's cool.
our friend one.
Stephanie and Jason Eaton's wife,
Yeah.
Robbie. Is that? Yeah, there's Robbie. Yeah, and there's the other one. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, it
Austin
looks like
Creed.
it's life size. Yeah.
yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, that stuff's so cool.
And a
Ooh,
man.
what's that one? Oh, that's a Boba Fett guy.
The flow quills. I have some of those. But yeah, no, that this whole setup that they did was just amazing. It was
Yeah.
so
And look, hang on, guys.
Oh, there's the sail barge. There's Chris's sail barge.
Yeah, it's a very dusty picture here, but there's like an original with Dykester.
There it is. Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. The helmet. Oh, this. I saw this. I saw Jason posted pictures of it. The arm.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah. That's such a cool armature.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, if next show we'll kind of dive into some of these a little bit.
Yeah, the spinner right there was really cool. See
Yeah.
the spinner right there? Yeah, that thing's that's an amazing piece.
Yeah.
I definitely would like to have one of those.
But yeah, we'll dive back into some of these. But
Sounds really good. Sounds good.
cool. All right, guys.
Well, it was really good hanging out with everybody tonight. Thank y'all for your Saturday night. And just know to you, Gabe, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and everybody that's watching us and that'll be watching us tomorrow. I love you guys. So
Yeah, no,
Sure.
absolutely, man. Thank you again for just for hanging in there. And like I said, we're gonna try to be back on here more consistently and all that. Again, Saturdays at 7 p.m., 9 p.m. Central was like our time slot.
yeah.
It's like, same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
So we'll try to hop on as much as we can, and if we have to change the dates, let us know. Jump in
Yes.
into our Facebook group.
Yes.
If any changes are there. But most importantly, subscribe. Just subscribe, and you'll turn on the notifications. And I'll usually post like the feed thumbnail and all that at least a day before, or like a couple of days before. So then you'll get notified, like, hey, there's a show coming up, and that way you guys can join us and come hang out.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sounds great, man. Well, everybody, y'all have a great evening, and I'm gonna go get me a bowl of chili.
There you go. All right, guys.
Good night, everybody.